very welcome to Mr. Richard Dobbs over there. Welcome back to North Warwickshire Borough Council. For those of you who don't know, Richard used to be Cass when he was here.
The operation went well.
He's now Managing Director of Sherborne Recycling, and he's going to be speaking to us later in the meeting. So anyway, welcome, Richard.
Thank you very much.
I hope you feel at home.
Yes, it's good to be back.
Okay, thanks. So the evacuation procedure, we haven't got any members of the public, and Richard knows it anyway. So just to remind you not to go home until you've been checked off. Kath will sort you out in the car park if we have an emergency. So apologies for absence are apologies from Andy Wright, substitute Denise Cruz, thank you Denise. Major Singh, substitute Karen Simmons, thank you. From Councillor Reary, apologies from her, substitute Owen Phillips. So thank you very much for those subs and welcome to the meeting. So anyone got any pecuniary or non-pecuniary interests? Okay. Oh, I should say just at the start, for those of you that have got paper copies of the meeting, looking around, there's been a slight hiccup in the print room where, for my papers at least, they printed the yellow pages also on the white pages. It is so those items are very confidential, no matter what colour paper they're on. So please, please respect that. But I think most of the papers have been changed, apart from mine. So just so that we all know. Thank you. Public participation, we haven't got any. The minutes of the board held on the 5th of February, you've got in your papers. You just had a quick look at that. Got any comments or questions on the minutes? Okay, in which case, would you like to propose that we accept? Thank you, Councillor Amelia, and seconded by Councillor Jarvis. Thank you very much. Those in favour? Yeah, thank you. Those are accepted. So we're going to move on then to item number 6, which is the Sherborne report. Now, this gives you a background on Sherborne. What I'm intending to do, although you can ask questions here if you wish, I'm going to take both the Sherborne reports in private and confidential so that Richard can freely answer any questions you've got without any concerns. And so we can see both reports together. But we are being asked to note this. So are there any immediate questions people would like answers to before it's noted? Okay, well, when we come to the P&C, then that includes this report as well, if you want to ask questions on it. So can I just have a proposal that we note this? Thanks again, Ray Jarvis, seconded by Byron, and all those in favour. Thank you. Right, we'll move on then. Thank you. So the next paper is item 7, which is the leisure facilities plan closure dates. These are the same as they were last year and the year before. These are the bank holidays that we close. Just so that you know, we did try a few years ago, I think Richard was here then, where I decided that people would really want to go to our leisure centres on bank holidays, so we opened them and nobody came. So we have tried it, and these are the dates that we now always close. It has to come to this board, but it's not different from any other year. This could be the last year that we decide this, because by next year we should have our new operator in place. And whilst they will possibly have the same closure dates, it won't be our decision at that point. So, anybody got any questions, comments? Okay, proposer, please. Thank you, Councillor Fowler, and seconded by Andy James. Thank you very much. Those in favour? Thank you. Moving on then. Now we've got the Health and Wellbeing Working Party minutes. Over to you, Sandra.
Thank you, Chair. We've had a busy few meetings going on our Health and Wellbeing Board. We've got the new Health and Wellbeing strategy that's come through now for 26 to 31. That's quite a big piece of work that's come through from the county. And they're going to be looking at predominantly determinants of health, including poor quality housing, low income, insecure employment, and so far, and the cost of ill health amongst everyone really. So we've got more out of work, more with ill health, more obesity, more alcohol and tobacco dependency, and child mental health is increasing. So these are all areas that they're exploring. So we've been looking at how that goes over the next few years. We've also got a health and wellbeing strategy event coming on in Atherstone. I don't know whether everybody's had it's I think it's been circulated, but I can circulate it again if you so desire. It's at the Job Centre on the 9th of April. We've got all sorts of voluntary people there. We've got Construction Academy, Thrive are going to be there. So it's for anybody that's interested in perhaps getting some work or getting some support along the way. So that's another thing we've got. We've also got a Patient Experience Week, which is being done by the Volunteer Services at George Eliot Hospital. And they want you to go onto the internet and onto their website and tell them of your experience. I'm pretty sure they're thinking they might get some good feedback, but I'm not quite in agreement as to where it's going to go, but that's what they want you to do. We've also got the Heart Bus going out. There's a timetable being put together as we speak. But I think as a group, we felt that local GPs should be contacted prior to the bus going out in case they suddenly have a full house of referrals from the bus. The financial inclusion team have been busy as usual. They've been piloting a project for emergency food provision as being referred to by schools. So according to them, in a month they had 300 households supported by the school referral scheme, and none of these had previously accessed anything at all. So they were all new referrals and new applicants. And with free school meal applications, they've been speaking to parents at the school gates. And due to the Levelling Up project, they've now got 74 in just a short space of time completed applications of people who didn't know they were able to claim. So, and I hear the edible links, the over 65s, well attended. Our next spotlight, what we're looking at next, we were supposed to be doing it last time, but it was postponed. But we're going to be trying to look at fall prevention, and we've got some community nurses and coming in to speak to us. Hopefully, looking after the well-being of our elderly and vulnerable, preferably to stop hospital admissions because they're taking up beds for quite a long time. So if we can prevent it, it goes some way towards helping it. And what else have we got? One thing we touched on, and we're going to go into a little bit more, on the back of the homes that Councillor Hobley was talking about for people who are abused women. We're looking at providing, or looking at somebody who can provide some grab bags, so that when people rush out of home and into these, they go without some of their very basic stuff, whether it's a toothbrush or a teddy bear. We can look at providing that. And lastly but not least, I've just been chatting with Councillor Fowler, who's talked about a person called Nigel Osborne, and he's a slavery advocate. So we're going to have a look, we're going to have a conversation with him and see if he can come and give us a presentation and see how this is fitting into our area. And hopefully we can join with them to do something about that as well. Thank you. Thanks, Peter.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you for mentioning the modern slavery. Actually, talking about Councillor Hobley, we had a discussion about this a couple of months ago, actually, and my apologies, I forgot to mention it to Sandra, but I had the opportunity today. And yes, Kate actually did say when I mentioned about modern slavery, because it knocked a lot of what you were talking about, Kate. But she actually said, I think that Sandra would be interested in this as well. So and that's why I pass it on to Sandra, because I think we're going to be having this added to, I can't remember if it was IT or licensing or something. I think we were talking about some training, and I think that the officer is going to add this to that. So 2 bites of the cherry, but it's nice that we get that. So thank you to Kate as well for mentioning about Sandra. So it's an excellent place, or another excellent place to put it forward. So thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Thanks very much. Yes, Owen and then Kate.
Thank you, Chair. We first.
Okay.
I just want to ask, thank you, Chair, Bridget. Numbers for the schools that are applying for free school meals and for additional top-ups. I've got 2 schools in my ward. Is there any chance of getting a breakdown for those?
I haven't got a breakdown, but I can certainly ask for one.
Yes, that's Woodend and Hurley, please. Most appreciated.
I think, Sandra, sorry, it's a pilot at the moment, isn't it?
It is a pilot.
Across just a couple of schools.
Yeah.
to see
Okay.
what the sign
I think
off
there were 5 schools,
Mm.
if I remember
Sorry,
right.
I'm subbing, so I didn't know I haven't read the.
If
All the
if you
bits on.
can get a breakdown, you
Yeah,
could,
we'll still
you
get a
could then
breakdown.
focus on the schools that we feel aren't getting
Yeah.
the numbers that they should have. And
Thank you. So,
Could
Yeah.
explain it. So thank you. That's Katie.
Yeah, that was just a pilot. I think it was 5 schools, was it, Sandra?
5.
But just to see if the parents were aware that what they were entitled to. Just on the back of the grab bags, Sandra brilliantly suggested this as part of the movement. I think this can be one of the best things that come from this council. When we passed the motion about the White Ribbon campaign, I'm sure everyone's seen it on the telly. We've got even Gareth Southgate talking, about young boys. We've got adolescents, which is going to be shown in schools. If anybody's not seen it, it's absolutely brilliant. With all this going on, it's coming into the working party really, really well. Even the neighbourhood watch teams at Ridge Lane's Big Day Out have got quite a focus on domestic abuse and violence against women and girls, and how we can look after ourselves and look after our young girls in particular. But I think the grab bags scheme is going to be brilliant. I've been in this situation myself where I've left with nothing. Like you say, a toothbrush, sanitary towels, face wipes, them things are really important. And if there is a hub at this council where someone can grab something that they need, it's amazing. And I think we're going to hear a lot more over the next few months with the big push that's, it's countrywide that's going on with prevention of violence against women and girls. Thanks to Adolescents, because it's been, I don't know if everybody's had a chance to watch it, but it is fantastic. And just to put it out there, like, I've got a 13-year-old daughter, and while some of this was alien to me when I was watching it as an adult, all these phrases and these emojis and stuff were alien to me. When I spoke to Brona about it, she knew every single one. She knew every single one and what it meant, and she knew that she could suggest to a boy that he wasn't the type of man that anyone would ever want. She knew that she could do that, and it's rife. So our young boys need protecting, so that so that their attitudes and behaviours don't change like you see in adolescence. It is obviously a work of fiction, but it's really, really important, and it is going on in our schools. So it's tying into that strategy. So it's really, really good. So Sandra, thank you for all your help with that. It's been brilliant.
Thank you, Denise.
Thank you, Chair. The grab bags is a brilliant idea. It's not new, and I actually know a officer, I will not mention any names, that's been volunteered in this for quite a few years. So, I will get in touch and ask if they'd speak to Sandra about it, because I actually got a friend of mine to knit 50 all different kinds of bears and animals and everything to put in this grab bags. But he's been heavily involved in it for many years.
Thank you. Thanks very much. Peter and Caroline.
Thank you, Chair. Just one thing, actually, you talked about adolescence. I haven't seen that yet, but it will be. I think it's on Netflix, and I have been looking. The one thing I did see and would thoroughly recommend as well, if you get the opportunity, I think it's on iPlayer now, BBC, called Three Girls about the grooming in Rochdale. But then you learn that it's nationwide, and it actually goes very much with this modern slavery of grooming. And I think Kate talked about cuckooing. I think was one thing. So yes, it adds to that. So adolescents and Three Girls are definitely to watch. It's frightening.
Thank you. Caroline?
Just a bit about understanding, really. Are you talking about a pilot of auto enrolment for free school meals? It's a government led initiative.
Yes, it came through from the Levelling Up project. I've got it down as Manchester originally.
Most of it.
Sorry, just getting, because it is a pilot, but it's not across the board.
I don't think it's auto enrolment. I know what you're talking about. I know the county have looked at that, and there's GDPR issues all over the place, and they're saying they can't do it, although it has been done in some authorities. So,
And there's some piloting it, I think,
Yeah.
but it's challenging.
yeah, it is. Okay, thank you. And thank you once again to our wonderful Health and Wellbeing Working Group who do a lot of fantastic work and keep going, basically. Thank you very much. So moving on then to item 9, which is the exclusion of public and press. Sorry, I had to read this out, I know you've heard it before. To consider in accordance with section 100A4 of the Local Government Act 1992, whether it is in the public interest that the public and press be excluded from the meeting for the following items of business on the grounds that they involve the likely disclosure of exempt information as defined by Schedule 12A to the Act. Can I propose it, please? Thank you, Peter. Seconded by Emma. And all those in favour? Thank you. So we'll move into private confidential then. And the first